Okay, well, I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. I've gathered all the gameplay footage I need for this week's, well, this month's Plus Dive. I'm gonna interrupt that for now. And I decided I would have a crack at streaming the process of putting together a video. I know a lot of people out there use, After Effects or Vegas or any number of tools out there on the PC. I've really found the SHAREFactory application on the PS4 to be very capable, very easy to use, and yeah, there's probably stuff that I can't do that the big boys can, but man, this is really, this is what has enabled me to do my YouTube features. Some of the features in SHAREFactory had only been released a couple of months before I started, like the ability to import videos from the PC into SHAREFactory. That, obviously, I wouldn't be able to do anything other than PS4 footage if that were the case. You do need to use something like Handbrake on the PC to convert videos into a format that that SHAREFactory will work with. It's very specific about it. I will do my best to include that information into the details of this video once it goes live. But once you get that set up once, all you have to do is just convert it in and throw it on a USB stick. Really easy to do. So you can see that I've got here the Vita and PS3 footage that I needed to import. I've imported it last night. One of the restrictions is that you can only have up to 2 gigabytes of video data imported at any given time. You can see that I've got 297 megabytes remaining after all of this. So the good news about that is that anything that you've recorded natively on the PS4 does not count against that. That's only for imported videos. So usually for a Plus Dive, if I have the option where there's a game that's come out as a cross save on PS4 and Vita, or PS4 and PS3, like this month Grand Kingdom was a cross-buy on PS4 and Vita, I will gravitate toward the PS4 version simply because I can work with the footage a lot easier. One trick that I have used that actually did not work very well before a recent patch where they seem to have fixed some audio syncing issues is that there's the ability to I can just basically take one of these videos and import it, then export it, and then it's in the capture gallery, so I can use it as basically something that was just the same way as something that was natively recorded on the PS4. I prefer not to do that if I don't have to, but at the very least it is an option. And like I said previously, it'd be a problem because the more you'd process something through SHAREFactory, it would go more and more out of audio sync, which obviously was a problem. You can import images. Images are tiny, so you've got you can import a lot more and still come in under the, I think it's 32 megabyte cap. You can import MP3s to use for music, or sometimes what I've actually done is record my commentary as an MP3 and put that in as a music track instead of a commentary track for various reasons. So I am going to get started here. We're going to start with a new project. There's a bunch of different themes. For the most part, I don't tend to use a lot of these themes because like the game specific ones, at least, because they're game specific. I loved it when I did a thing for Little Big Planet. I was able to use Little Big Planet specific stuff. There are also these nifty like 50s, 80s, 70s themes. Comic book theme is new, but usually I just go with the PS4 theme, or sometimes I'll go with the PlayStation 20th anniversary theme because that's got a lot of really cool stuff to it. But here I'm going to go with the PS4 theme today. So it starts you out with the intro, a title clip, and an outro clip, and then a SHAREFactory stinger. I try to always put the SHAREFactory stinger on there. I am very grateful to SHAREFactory for putting this out, so I am going to give them a shout out whenever I can. I do not need these intro, title, and outro because I'm doing some of my own. While you're in this view, you can just hit R2 and it will play that video clip so you can see what it, get a little preview before you actually use it. So here, I need to go ahead and select. You can select up to a maximum of 50 clips. You can select up to a maximum of 80 minutes of footage, but it will not render anything more than 60 minutes, which is perfectly fine. I tend to keep mine, you know, under close to 10 minutes if I possibly can. Usually I run into the 80-minute problem. If that ever happens, all I have to do is just, you know, import stuff, edit it down, and then bring new clips in as it gets edited down. I'm probably going to have to do that tonight. So the first thing I'm going to do, when you put these, when you select your clips, it selects them in order. So I'm going to go down to where I have my intro clip, which is right here. Can't really see it, but it's there. That always goes first. And then usually I start with the most recent console first, pardon me, which is the PSVR in this case. And I made myself a little PSVR segue here from a clip that Sony had. So we're going to go with that. While I'm down in this corner of my list, I am just going to go ahead and grab my ending card. It's easy to move this stuff around, and I'll be able to show you that in a little bit. Pardon me. Okay, now I'm going to go back up toward the top and start grabbing the footage that I need for this video. Alright, so we're going to start with knack and rhyme. Then to, let's see here, the PS3 ones were Mugen Souls and Spelunker HD. And we are already just shy of 80 minutes here, probably because of that Mugen Souls thing. So I'm going to just go ahead and start the project now. And once I've got it edited down, I can add more clips later. So start the project, I'm going to rename it. And I could be streaming this from the PS4, but I'm streaming it through the through OBS instead, so you can see, you know, pop-ups, and when you actually render the video, it stops recording. So I just wanted to make sure I caught everything. So this one is plus dive, which, surprise, surprise, it's in my predictive text. And this is for Feb 18. Okay, so now we've got the intro, we've got that PSVR segue, but I've got my end card right here. I don't want it to be right here, obviously. So I'm going to hit square to work with this section of the video. I can select the clip, or I can add stuff to this part of it. But what we need to do here is I'm going to move the clip. L1 and R1 will move the clip like between segments around the other clips. So I'm just going to hit R1, move it almost all the way to the end, apply that, because the SHAREFactory thing stays at the end. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and hit X to add. I'm going to add a transition. This is the transition I usually use. Just going to make sure that the clip is still as long as it possibly can be. Okay. So sometimes when you add a transition, it will shorten the clips that are involved with the transition. So what I did there was I hit the square button to manipulate it, went into the trim option, and it had been trimmed slightly. You use the L stick, the left stick, to move the start of the clip, and the R stick to move the end of the clip. If you just want to move it like frame by frame, you can use R2 or R1 to trim the end, L2 and L1 to trim the beginning. Here, I just want it as long as possible. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to make sure that the same is going on here. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now that I've got all of this in place, actually, I am going to do a quick save of the project. It's quick, it's easy, and it will really save your ass. Okay, so now I've got my intro. I'm going to add a transition. Nope, actually, no, I'm not going to use a transition here. So I'm going to delete that transition. Fix the trim again. Because this is my transition. So I'm not going to use a cinematic transition, but I will use a dissolve just to make it flow a little bit better. So instead of just a hard transition, it'll kind of blend right in. And then usually what I like to do... Oh, I forgot to add Starblood Arena. Dang it. Okay. I don't know... I do not have enough room to add Starblood Arena right now, so I'm going to remove the Spelunker HD clip for now. So we're going to just delete the clip. Now I've got 13 minutes worth of space, which is more than enough for the Starblood Arena clip I have. The PSVR freebies are available for 2 months at a time, so since this is the second month, I don't go very in-depth. I'm just going to give it a shout out and move on. So we're going to add the clip, find the Starblood Arena one I did last month. I'm going to add that. Find, you know, I'll just take it from about here. I like to take, you know, do the whole measure once, cut twice thing. And I'll take more than I think I need and then whittle it down. And I try to get it to around about a minute per segment. Some segments might go longer, some might be shorter, but that's my target. This one obviously is going to be a lot shorter. But what we're going to do is just hit square, go to split clip. I'm going to split it here. Hit square to delete this part. I'm going to go to the end of the title screen. Split again. Delete this part. That's 1 minute. That is more than enough time to do my shout out. So I am going to, I'm trying to do a good job of explaining everything I do, but so much of this has become second nature. I need to check myself here. So what I'm doing to move around here is just the right stick. So I'm moving along the timeline with the right stick. I'm going to wait until those guys disappear and their effect disappears. Okay, great. Then I'm going to split it, delete this. There we go. So that goes to 38 seconds from 13. 25 seconds, that's more than enough time for me to do what I need to do. So I am going to... All right, so now that that's in place, now one other fun thing about how this works is if you find that you've messed up on your trimming, you can, oh, I gotta make sure I get out of this mode. So you can hit square, and even if you've split and delete, all that information is still there. So I could still trim it to kind of undo all of the stuff that I deleted. There isn't an actual undo feature on here, which is kind of unfortunate, but if you save often and use stuff like that, it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and split it again, delete, there we go. I'm going to put a let's see here, ellipse explode transition here. I use that for the PSVR thing because it kind of looks like you're putting on the headset. Gonna make sure that we've got it extended. So here we go. Let's take a look at how that goes. Perfect. Okay. So moving on. Now, usually what I tend to do is I get a segment ready and then I mess with the transitions. Because the transitions can, and then after that, if I need to add a music track, I add the music track. Because the transitions mess with the length of the overall video. So you need to kind of be aware of that. Now, for my plus dive videos, I prefer to have the title screen from the game at the end of the video clip. So what I'm going to do here is grab this title screenshot of Knack, snip it out, and move it to the end. I usually just go as long as this little bit of a snapshot lasts. So I'm going to move it right here so it looks like it's got a perfect border around it, and that's usually a perfect amount of time for me to do my ending spiel for that particular game. So I'm going to split it, and now I'm still in split mode, which catches me unfortunately often. I'll hit square to try to manipulate the clip, and it'll ask me if I want to delete. So I don't want to do that. So circle backs me out of snip mode or split mode. Now I can hit square, move the clip to the end of the next segment. So now comes the tricky part. I want to have a good representative video. Fortunately, what I recorded earlier works pretty well. So I'm going to split it here, delete that, and we'll have this nice little introduction to the world of knack. And that's actually not a bad length. So I'll probably be talking here. Let's see here. When did that start? 35. So let's go to right there. So a little more than 30 seconds, but I had just dispatched another bird. So I'm going to split it there. And then I'm going to grab some later footage here. Oh, that's right. There was a bit where I uncovered a treasure box that I had not previously gotten. There we go. Okay, good. So I did kind of want to include those ogre fights too. I think I'll split it here. Make sure, okay, and then delete this clip. I'm going to go ahead and add a transition right away for now. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? I usually do either a dissolve or wipe if I'm just doing transitions within the same game. I think I'm going to go with a directional wipe here, so I can just go... Oh yeah, that worked out well. So we'll go with that. Get that. Okay, so now how far are we? 35. That's a little bit more than a minute though. Well, I think I'll cut it off about here. Delete this. And see, another thing about knack is I've already done a video on knack, so I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to say about it. I think I'm going to cut this a little bit closer, maybe right about here. So now, one thing is I already did that transition. If you delete a clip that has a transition on it, it'll delete the transition as well. So I'll need to put that transition back in there. All right, that ends up being about 1:15. That's perfectly fine, because I definitely want to include this bit here, where I got the aqua relic. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that transition back in there. I think the directional wipe will still work out. Oh yeah, that worked out nicely. Okay, great. So now that I'm done with that, you know what? I'm gonna check on something really quick because it doesn't look like there's been a lot of audio coming through here. So let me just play this clip. Okay, it's there, but it's really quiet. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna leave that. We'll call it an end here. Add the transition. And this time I think I'm going to use a cinematic. Now, I don't know how many people have actually caught this kind of thing, but with all the different symbols, you can actually have a transition that focuses on one of the four you know, PlayStation symbols: square, triangle, circle, and X. When I was editing the video for Lost Odyssey, I realized how much of a problem it was that I didn't really have anything that catered to me working with Xbox 360 stuff. So I just constantly used squares to signify the box. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the circles because NAC has... Ooh, that's probably going to be the best one. Because NAC has that very distinctive circular glowing orb that's the center of his being. So we've got that. Goes into the NAC thing. I will talk about how it's free this month. And on to the next video. So I'm going to save my project before I continue. And while I'm thinking about it, I don't think I really spread the word about what I was doing today, so I'm going to grab my tweet really quick and paste it to one of the Discord servers I'm on. There we go. Okay. Okay, so on to rhyme. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to find... Oh, that's right. There wasn't much of an intro sequence to rhyme. Let's see if I can get something here that'll be long enough. Okay, that started at 23. That was only a couple of seconds. I may have to go back. Oh, wait, actually, hold on. Oh, wow, it actually captured part of the intro screen. That's interesting. So, what I'm probably going to do here is that bit was actually kind of perfect. It even sort of came with its own transition. So, I'm going to clip this out. So we'll split the clip, delete. That's way too long of a transition there. I'm gonna split it one more time, delete. There we go. get it right after that disappears, and I'm going to split it again. I'm going to move this to the end. And so now another thing that you can do on SHAREFactory fairly easily, I'm going to go into the manipulation menu here and go to the time bender. Here I can make it go faster or slower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go half speed, smooth motion, and hit X to continue. So the only downside is it gets this weird little vignette, but just to kind of demonstrate what I'm thinking of doing here is I'm going to say fade through color. I'm going to set that fade through color. I'm going to edit the transition. Go to the settings. Set that color to white. So now at the end, it's going to fade to white, fade in, and go twice as slow. Now the music is also going to be twice as slow, so I'm probably going to turn that down a little bit so it's not as noticeable. But there we have our option without having to go back and record more gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this then. Let's see here. How long does that end up being? Okay, I am actually going to trim instead of split and move. There we go. There we are. And go to the end of the screenshot, and we will split it here. Delete what's left. There we go. So I am going to have to redo this transition later, but I just figured I'd give you an idea of how that works. All right. So I think I'm not going to have to do a lot of editing on Rhyme. I did want this a little bit because this is cute. Yay for the little fox. So we're going to split that, delete that. So this is one of the things that really gets me about PC applications like this, is how difficult it is just to split a clip like this. I mean, it's insane. All of this stuff that I'm doing is intuitive here. I have yet to run into an intuitive editing suite on the PC. Yes, it's powerful, but phew. All right, so I'm going to, whoops, actually I'm going to go after this part. I'm going to split it right here, delete the interim. All right, so how long was this little clip? 47 to 21, so that's 14. No. 24 seconds. Okay. 24 seconds, so let's go back here. This starts at 47. We go back to 47 again, that's another minute. Actually, I think I'll end this clip right there instead. Okay. So now what do we have? 2117. Most of this was taking place at night, which kind of makes it a little difficult to show off. But this might actually give me a little bit of extra time to work with. So let's start here, where he's just about to run down there and trigger all of that, and go back to a bit that I did in daylight, so you can see more of the platforming. That should be perfect. Okay, right there. I'm going to delete that clip. Actually, you know what? Okay. I'm going to take this. So I realized that there is a part of this that I want to retrieve from the very beginning. And honestly, I think it would probably be easier to just add the clip again. Where is it? There it is. Because I want the little bit where he wakes up on the beach. Because that's basically where where the whole thing starts. So we're going to split here. Delete that. Split there. Delete that. There we go. Alright, so what is our clip budget? We're at 158 at the beginning. And it goes to almost 2 minutes long. Okay, what do I want to take out? Honestly, I think I need to just ditch this. Cute as it may be. Let's see here. Start at 158, going to 317. That's just shy of minute 20. I could probably talk about this for minute 20. And the clips that we have left are... Well, actually, that's a long time for us to just be looking at him laying on the beach. Let's just clip that there. So, split it, delete. Okay. So, I think for this transition, again, usually between games, I prefer more dramatic transition. Okay, comic ones are new. I don't know if that really fits the theme of either game, though, so... I think I will just stick with the good old... swoosh. Perfect. Okay, a few seconds of him laying there. Add a transition, and we will do I'm going to do a blur fade dissolve on this one. There we go. All right, that was a little bit. So, you know, sometimes when I'm streaming to capture footage, I'll forget what I'm doing and just talk for a few moments. That seems to be what was happening there. So I've got like 8 seconds of him just treading water. We don't need that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim the clip. Starts at 1322. Let's go down to 1326. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Then I figured it out, how to climb back up. And tag the statue. Now, we've shaved a couple seconds off. There was a bit... Yeah, we're doing better there. There was a little bit at the end of this after that I want to possibly highlight. There we go. Let's end it with jumping into the water. Perfect. Okay. So now where are we? Ooh, back at 3:30, huh? Okay, so I think I will trim this here, because you don't need to watch me run back down. Oh wow, then it ends it right there, huh? Okay, well, I think I'll trim it here. I'll see how I do when I do voiceover, because basically what I want to do is draw attention to the fact that that there are those pillars in the background, pillars of light, to kind of guide you where you want to go next. This isn't a lot of time to talk about that, but if I'm paying attention while I'm talking, I can kind of lead into it, say, you know, there are the pillars, and it tells you where you need to go, and then move on. So I think I'll settle for that. Now, since this is more moving parts that I may or may not need to shorten or lengthen, I'm not going to do all my transitions right yet. So we're just going to end the rhyme portion right there. I will come back and do the transitions later on. Save project. Save often. Okay, now we're on to... Oh dear God, this game... This was the most anime thing I had ever seen. So we got Mugen Souls Z. I think I'm going to use that as the title card because the actual title screen wasn't that interesting. So let's split it here. Do we get enough time? Just barely. So I'm still going to go ahead and trim this, and then I can fix it a little bit later, like lengthen the intro, the part leading into it. In fact, I think I'll do that right now. So we'll go into trim clip. I want the ending to end, well, let's see here. Okay, it's about 8 seconds. I want the ending to end before all the characters show up. Right about there. So I'm going to need this to start around 102. Perfect. All right. So there's our end title card for Mugen Souls Z. Okay. Now this one, oddly enough, might be a little bit easier to clip. I'm probably going to want to show a little bit of this intro because it's just so ridiculously over the top saccharine. Oh yeah, and then also the point that, well, I made that point in a video already, but there's the first trophy right there, right like seconds after you start the game. So it gives you intro stuff. You know what? I'm going to use that. Okay, so let's go with, I'm going to split it here. I'm going to delete that. I think I'll just leave that about the same length as my title card, and then leave Shosho's intro in there. And we'll leave Altus in there too. Okay. Split that. Now, there is a lot of talking in this, which I don't generally tend to mind, but the battle system is actually pretty fun on this. Where does it start? There we go. So let's... Now, you can go forward frame by frame with the D-pad, so I'm going to do that. Catch her... Okay, there we go. I didn't want the text box in there. Alright, so we'll delete that. Oh, that's fine. An interdimensional foe appears. I'm going to try to cut it off. Well, no, I guess I was pretty... straightforward about that. Oh... No, I think I'll split it there and then go back to where I start. Oh, I left it on Sunfire Dance. So let's do a little bit of a trick here and split clip. And we'll just add transition, crossfade, and you're gonna barely notice that I just clipped out 6 minutes worth of fighting. And this was more where I kind of got down to it and actually played. Alright, so I'll wait until the end of that attack. And that is actually a great fade to white. So I'm going to use that. Split clip. Alright, so now we're at 6.4. We started at 4.23. Okay. Honestly, that's about as much as I need to do as far as the battle system is concerned. I might want to take a bit from toward the end where they're walking around. Oh wait, I didn't import that video. Okay, never mind. Oh wait, no, I can take this clip. Delete. And click there. There we go. So 6:18, 4:22. It's still almost 2 minutes long. Okay, so where are we at 5:22? Okay, just in the middle of that fight. So let's just take that. Split that. And show that. And put a fancy wonder what this would look like here. Subtle enough. Okay. So that ends at 5:50 now. Okay, I'm fine with where we are on that. I might be able to trim a little bit down some more, but I can probably talk about this one for a minute and a half too. Okay, so let's save and import the other clips. So see what I'm talking about? We're down to 6 minutes and 15 seconds. We were almost at 80 minutes when we started, but now we are at a much better duration, so we can go ahead and add the other clips that we need to import. So we've got Spelunker for the PS3, and then Exile's End for Vita, and wow, that Grand Kingdom one is 50 minutes in and of itself. So we're gonna have to just work on Spelunker HD and Exile's End first, and then import Grand Kingdom when we're done. So let's add those clips. This is another interesting thing about this. This is taking no time at all to bring these clips. Importing them from a USB stick does take a little bit of time, but when you're actually editing, it is just instant. And I love it. I do need to take a short break though. So I'm going to, well, just to be on the safe side, whoops, nope, that's not what I wanted. I am going to save my project, put that up, mute the mic, and I will be back in a few moments. Alright, I'm back. And let's pick right up from where we left off with Spelunker HD. I don't know if you have seen the footage of me trying to play this game, but oh god, was it awful. I love the concept of the game. I really would love to play it more, but it was unplayably bad. So let's end it with the rankings, because that's kind of funny. Don't blame me for one error after another. Do want to show the remake versus classic graphics. Ooh, I have an interesting idea on that. So I'll have the remake versus classic. I'm going to split this off. I started with the classic graphics, but what I think I'm going to do is start with gameplay from the remake graphics. So I'm going to take this clip, move it here. Oh yeah, that's right. I impossibly failed at this to the point where I couldn't proceed and I had to restart the game. Even for 1985, that's unacceptable gameplay design. You'll notice on most of my videos, I don't do a lot of complaining about the games. For the most part, I play games that I enjoy playing. I do not get that luxury with Plus Dive, so every once in a while, I have to play a game that I absolutely end up loathing. Okay, that's right. I figured out how to get past that here. So I do kind of want to keep this. One unfortunate bit that there isn't an easy solution for is reversing a clip. You can't reverse a clip in this. So okay, there's that. So I can't just kind of, you know, make this go from classic to remake very easily. But what I can do, yeah, I'll just clip it that way. Go to there, confirm, delete. There we go. So now we've got, we'll have classic first, because I didn't get as far in classic mode as I did in remake mode. Alright, so delete that clip. Go grab the classic mode gameplay. Split. Delete. And I want to get to where I got stuck on that. There we go. Delete everything after that. Move this right there. Okay, so here's what I have in mind. We're going along. We've got classic mode. I get to that rock. I switch from remake to classic mode, back to remake, and now I've got it figured out. Okay, so let's do frame by frame. Let's start this out on classic. There we go. Split clip. Classic, remake, and there we go. Okay. So I want to make that a little bit more smooth, but I don't want to make it flashy. So let's do a fade through, or maybe a block fade. Would that look good? No, that's too much. Let's replace it with a fade through. Oh, man, that just seems like it would take too much time, but let's give it a shot. No, that actually works out well. So let's add another fade through there. Okay. Because it makes it just look like it's in the menu. Which, by the way, you were not able to access during your gameplay. Perfect. Okay. So we start at 6 minutes. I think I'm going to go back to at least one of the stupid deaths here. Well, no, let's see if I can splice this together a little bit easier, a little, kind of cleverly. All right, so this was not one of the stupid deaths. There we go. Yep, that was one of the stupid deaths. Right off the bat. Yeah, welcome to the caves, my ass. You know what? I think I'm going to, after this, go down there, stop it there, split this clip, and fast forward to here. So we'll use the time bender. New length 22 seconds. Do smooth. It does not put up that vignette when you're speeding it up, oddly enough. But let's see how that goes. Stupid deaths. Okay. 559, 649, and stupid death, and restart. Okay. I'm sure I can rant that long. Split clip. Delete there. add transition, and actually this one you get a cinematic ending because I want you to explode. There we go. All right. So we've got that bit mostly in place. I might trim it down a little bit, but let's save the project. Next up is Exile's End. Can I get a couple seconds of that? Let's see how it goes. Because that's better than the actual, like, intro menu to this game. Split. Oh, excellent. All right. Put that. Exile it to the end. Ha 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 ha! Okay, so let's take a little bit of this game mode. Split. And stop here because that's about where I spent 20 seconds bouncing off the wall and not getting anywhere for it. Okay, let's get as much of time on survival there as possible, because this is survival mode. All right. Split the clip. And so now there are a couple of parts of this that I really wanted to get across. First aid kit is one, because those things are really rare. So we'll get a little bit after that. That was actually a pretty good throw of the rock, so split that. And it was right after a bad throw of the rock, so that's perfect. And get that last death. Aren't most deaths our last one? Okay. See if I can find some of that nasty falling damage. Because that stuff was insane. Wow, I think I'm spending more time on this than some of the others. Just trying to get the right stuff. Rewind. Nope, not there. Pretty sure it was somewhere around here that I had like really stupid falling damage. Because I like jumped over one of those ledges and landed one thing down. I'm not kidding. This game was just brutal with the falling damage. Is that it? Like, it actively encourages you to just run off a ledge rather than jumping off a ledge, like you've done in every other platformer over your entire gaming life. Yeah, there's a good one. Yes. Hi, Che. I'm glad to hear from you. Che has not been feeling well. I'm a little concerned. So, normally I've been annoyed at her for yelling while I'm recording or streaming, but I'll take it tonight. Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Oh wait, that's right. That was a good title screen. And it had motion. Okay, I need to come back to that then. Split. That's longer than I need it, but go to the end of this. There we go. Split it. Move it. Oops. There we go. And I can just delete this. Okay. So I got my fall, got all of that. This I can delete. Keep part of the intro here. The rest of this is probably unnecessary, so... Okay, so we'll ditch that. We're at 7:17. Oh, that was that. Okay. So most of this I can cut out, but there was one bit that I did want to highlight. One last piece. Not that switch. Oh, yeah. I got a notification that a friend had come online, and so I went back and removed and turned off notifications. Okay, so nothing from that clip is what I need. But I think what I want is part of this, or a little bit after, so I'm going to do the whole untrim thing here. There we go. Okay. So we'll trim this again to where I had it, or split it at least. Go through here. Split that, delete that. Fall damage again. But still not as bad as Spelunky. Or Spelunker. Okay. So... I'm going to trim this down a little bit. Alright, where are we at now? 10 even. $7.17. Okay, we definitely need to trim this one down a bit. But I've already done a lot of trimming, so I am going to save project. Okay, I want to keep that. I can probably ditch this, because this drop was a little bit more expected that that was going to be falling damage, but this bit, no. So let's delete clip. Actually, I do want to make this part a little bit longer. Just so I can talk about it a little bit first. There we go. Because, I mean, it's going to come right at the end of this cutscene. So I want to be able to say, okay, this is a Metroidvania platforming game, and the graphics remind me a little bit of Flashback, but oh yeah, there is some ridiculous falling damage that you need to be aware of in this game. Plop. Okay, perfect. And for all that falling damage, first aid kits are hard to find. Your main weapon through the first part of it is a rock, and it takes some time getting used to, but you can do it eventually, and you can always pick them back up again. They are also handy for solving puzzles, but death is still really easy to run into. There is also survival mode, where you actually do have a gun. Falling damage doesn't seem to be as big of a problem, but there are a lot more creepy bad guys to deal with. I will probably be able to trim this one down a bit more. So 949 from 717. So we're still at 2.5 minutes for this. Goodness. And yet, you just saw me talk through all of this. I probably don't need as much on this, so I think I'll just leave it at there. I mean, I'm already at 9 minutes 50 seconds, and I still haven't added Grand Kingdom. I can trim that to escape pods move. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to... Well, No, here we go. Let's split it here. Boom, zoom, game. Okay. There we go. 717, 901, still a minute 45, but that's a little bit better. Okay, so done with that bit. Oh, that's actually a little too long almost. Oh, that's right. I wanted to trim that down a little bit too. So let's get out of that mode. Split clip. No, not split mode. I want to trim clip. There we go. So the end of this is at 324. Usually need 8 seconds. Perfect. All right, we're good there. Okay. Save project. One more clip to manipulate. For Grand Kingdom. This is another one where I played a lot of it, but there's not going to be too much that I need to carry over into the actual video here, so how long is that splash? Because I'd prefer to have that. So from 10:12 to 10:20. Excellent. All right, so we'll split here. And split here. Excellent. All right. All right. Well, I totally didn't mean to actually like pause on the boobs there, but there we go. All right. Move clip to the end of this. Marie. Had to wet the whistle a little bit. Okay. So I created a couple of characters. I kind of messed it up, but I want to, I went a little bit more into detail with Helene here, so that will be the part that I split out. I may actually speed up the process because I was kind of fooling around. It's what I tend to do with these character creation things, is I'll speed up the process because it's not exactly the most engaging thing to watch, but it's important to get across that it's there. So that went on for almost 2 full minutes. So I'll probably just, let's see here, time bender, 8x, and get it down to 14 seconds. There we go. And I will definitely be muting that audio. But you see it kind of gets the gist across. Oof. Yeah, definitely muting that audio. I hate that. I really do wish there were better ways to handle that. Okay. and split that out. Get a little bit of I think I will get it right to when I leave her. There we go. Split that, delete that. So after you get the hang of the controls, you can just start doing this stuff really quick and focus more on the actual like meat of what you're doing rather than having to fight with where was that menu again? I do very much want to learn how to use some of those more powerful tools, but it's just so, I mean, when I've got this okay, actually this fight was one of the better ones because I was actually, you know, kind of figuring out what I could actually do. So we're going to split that out, delete all that. I'm going to take the entire battle and just trim it down afterward. Okay. I want to get it after this disappears, like as soon after it disappears as possible. There we go. Go back a little bit. Okay. Split clip. And last thing I want to show off is movement on the field. Okay, split, delete. Start after this. There we go. Split. And honestly, that's about all you need, all we need to see. Lots of storyline stuff here, which I usually do like to start out with some storyline stuff, but we can ditch it for now. Wow, without editing down that that battle, we're actually only at 14 minutes. Okay. So this okay, that's kind of important to see all of that. How much was that? It's about 10:30. Oh, wow. That's over a minute just in and of itself. Let's go to just before, well, let's clip this out actually, because moving up to it wasn't that bad. Yeah. Alright, split that, delete that. I'm going to delete this bit, so we're going to go right before this window appears. split, go after it disappears. Yeah, because then I go right into the menu and use treasure warp. Okay. All right, let's do right before that menu appears. There we go. Then I think I'm just going to split it here, delete the rest of it. There we go. All right, so that's going from about 9.9 to 947. All right. That was a good example of the magic. There's the acid, discarding, and arrow use. Okay. So we can at least trash everything before that. All right, so we started at 9:09. Almost 3 minutes for that segment. Ugh. Maybe I should speed up the battle a little bit. Oh, it's only 10 o'clock. Good. This really is the toughest part of all of this, is just trimming it down. Then the rest of it, I don't really script. I probably should, but the rest of it is just kind of talking along with the with whatever video is on the screen. Okay, so I am going to save right now. And let's time bend this to actually 4 times. And see how that goes. So it will be a lot smoother when it actually renders. The only problem is I kind of wanted to showcase like the music and sound effects and everything too. I'm not going to use the time bender. Alright, we can shave out a couple of seconds by stopping right when the battle is won. And that was done by, oh, arrows, okay. And that's fire. So I'm going to try to... Okay. So let's stop after her turn. Oh, she's about to do acid throw there, so let's go ahead and split it there. Okay, good. So now we're at 11-1 from, what was it, 9-9? Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good for now. Okay, so I'm gonna save. Oops. Now I'm going to go through and add transitions. And then I'm going to show you a little bit of adding voiceover and adjusting audio levels. But I think I'm actually going to go offline for that because I'm going to need to use headphones, and if I do that, the audio is not going to come through OBS. So I'll do a little bit of it just to show you how it all goes. You know, also, gotta leave some of this to be a surprise. Gotta give you some reason to actually watch the video once it's done. You get a sneak peek anyway, so be happy for that. Okay. So, since this is going to be the last thing, and actually, you know what? Let's trim that down a little bit more. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So, split. You also can't split less than 1 second. So if you need to split less than 1 second, just trim. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I mean, this part is the same in all of my videos, but we're going to go with the cinematic static. And this is usually really loud, so I'm going to go into Edit Transition, Set Volume, and set it to about 40%. This doesn't have a volume, but setting the volume on a clip is pretty much the same thing. And then you can also actually apply the same volume level to every clip all at once with the Apply to All option. But since I've recorded these in different environments, I want to adjust that segment by segment. This one is also usually kind of loud, so I'll turn down that clip because sometimes I'm still talking through that transition. Okay. So now, if I were to add music, and you know what, let's go over here, and I'm just going to pretend that I'm going to add music. I think I'm just going to leave this mute. So actually, let's go and clip volume to 0. But if we wanted to add music, It's just right in here with everything else. Add music, choose your track, and you can actually see the waveform of it, so that'll help you like move it around to where you want it to be. But I don't want it on there, so I'm just going to delete that again. Okay, so normally I start from the beginning, but in this case, oops, it's still on music mode. So when you want to do voiceover, or if you want to add video of yourself or an additional clip, you use track 2. So, okay, got chroma key there. You can kind of see me. Hi. But that's not the important part. So what we want to do here is hit record, record audio. Gives you a countdown. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video tonight, and I will don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, everything, and I will see you next week. So that's pretty much it. It's really straightforward and easy, but I'm going to re-record that later when I've got a better microphone than just what's on the PlayStation camera. One other thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to go back to the beginning. So many clips. Okay. So another thing that I do in my videos is, rather than have an entire title card for what type of video this is, for which feature this is, I use track 2 and I add a clip. I'm gonna go down to here we go, to the plus dive clip. And what I've done is I've got 2/3 of it with a green chroma key. So I can go into the options menu. I'm going to choose the layout for this. You've got a couple of different options for where you want to place it. So like if I did full screen here, and then I hit triangle, so I can go into the menu and chroma key that out. So I'm going to go back one more menu, and so you can see that down at the bottom where it's just overlaying the plus dive title. What I usually prefer to do though, I'm going to go back into edit track 2, picture-in-picture layout. I use swivel. Come back out here. And it does it kind of neatly on the side and swivels the main video off a little bit. So there we go. That's how I do that bit. And it's pretty slick. So I think I'm going to show you one more aspect of this, but I'm going to do that on a different video. So I'm going to save this project and exit. I'm going to go into my projects, and I'm going to go into one that I just posted last night. It was a short one, very simple. But basically, when you've got everything in place that you need to have in place, you can either just hit circle like you're going to quit and save video and exit, or you hit the options button and export to gallery. It's it renders at about twice the speed that it's actually playing. But once it's done, your project is saved. You come back out to the menu, and you'll find it in the capture gallery under SHAREFactory. And your new video is right there. I'm going to delete this because I've already generated this. But then from here, you just hit the share button. And upload it to YouTube or Twitter, or whichever one that you want to do. And you do it right from here. One advantage to doing it from here is that it gets posted on your What's New ticker, as well as the What's New ticker for everyone who's following you. So it's, you know, everybody that's following you, every one of your friends, they can see it from your What's New, which to me, it's just one extra avenue for people to discover your video. So I absolutely love that that's there. And one of the reasons why I will try so hard to upload directly from my PS4. One other thing, and I'm going to exit without saving because I didn't really do much of anything there. One other thing that I've been doing lately is if you go into the Photos section, I've been creating title cards for my videos from here. So like for my Burnout Paradise video, now the trick here is that you can only use images that are in your capture gallery. The eagle-eyed among you will notice that Burnout Paradise was a PS3 game, not a PS4 game. So what I ended up doing was I had the video exported, then, and actually I can show you how this works. Then I went into the video in the capture gallery. You hit the option button and go to trim. Now this is something else that's built right into the PS4 firmware where you can just very quickly, if you just want to clip something and upload, like, you know, this guy's surprised face, you can just say, okay, there we go. Preview it. That was a great punch. So was that. Alright, let's upload that. And that's it. One other thing that's hidden in this, though, is that guy, you know, Victor's face is hilarious there. I'm going to hit X. Or, I'm sorry. Hit X when that frame is highlighted. And save as screenshot. So what I was able to do, like for the Burnout Paradise, is it exported as something from SHAREFactory, and I just saved as a screenshot, so then I could use it in SHAREFactory in the photo editor. There's a bunch of different collage styles you can choose from. They're not very flexible, but they're options. So like for last month's Plus Dive, this is actually a couple of different frames all at once, which, you know, this is kind of advanced stuff a little bit. but you know, I was able to get all of the different games in there all at once. It's a great way to make some really decent title cards, and you've got some nice filters and stuff like that that are available, like for this one, where I took a picture and then imported that photo and did a video that and then put a filter on it. So that one definitely helps as far as making pretty YouTube videos. So I think I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to reach out to me. I really hope this has been instructional for you. Kudos to you for sticking out the entire 2 hours. But I bet a lot of people spend a lot more time on something like this than 2 hours. And you know, granted, I'm not quite done yet, but I am almost done. I'd say I probably only have about a half an hour to go. I hope this has been enlightening for you. I thank the folks that have made this app and put it out for free on the PS4. And I thank you for watching, and I will see you guys all later.